Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I have here a walkthrough of how to do the communication studies IA. Huge disclaimer though, I cannot guarantee you getting full marks on your paper because honey, that's on you. You'll have to write your paper so well, deliver your presentation so well that your teacher has no choice but to give you that 100%. So I only lost 1 mark though when I did my IA, and that was during the presentation aspect. I forgot my speech while saying it, but that was only for a couple seconds and I got back on track really quickly. So that wasn't a problem for very long. So without any further delays though, let's get into the video. First of all, when you're doing your IA, you will need to think about a theme and a topic. Now, the difference between your theme and your topic is that a theme refers to the central idea of your research. So that may be, let's say, tertiary education in Trinidad and Tobago, the medical field in Jamaica, or even the field of technology in Barbados. However, your topic is more specific to the research, so you ask yourself, what exactly am I researching? Then answer the question. So here's an example. I am researching the impact of schizophrenia on geriatric citizens living in nursing homes in Kingston, Jamaica. After answering the question, it is great to think about how you're going to start your topic. How exactly are you going to start it? It's great to use words such as an exploration into or a research that deals with, or a great way to begin is an investigation into. Let's say we ultimately conclude on an investigation into the impact of schizophrenia on geriatric citizens living in nursing homes in Kingston, Jamaica. Now, that's how the structure of your topic should resemble or look like. Also, it's important that when you're choosing a topic, you choose a topic that you can find information on. If not, you'll have problems when it comes down to your expository piece or your exposition, and that would lead to many other issues when you're doing your IA, and you just don't want that. Also, to avoid hiccups, choose a topic that is related to your future career choice. Secondly, your IA and or portfolio will need a general introduction. Your general introduction should be no more than 200 words. So you have a word limit there, 200 words. And for organizational purposes, I decided to do my general introduction in 3 paragraphs. For the first paragraph, I introduced my topic and my theme as well, and I explained or told my purpose for choosing that specific topic. So I ran it along the lines of this research focuses on the field of medicine in Jamaica. And of course, you don't have to start it like that. You can add your own sugar and spice to it. And after you introduce your topic, you can say embodying an investigation into the impact of schizophrenia on geriatric citizens living in nursing homes in Kingston, Jamaica. And you see that's where I introduced the topic. Now, I'm not sure if you're required to include the parish in which you'll be doing your research, but my teacher encouraged us to. But what I'm absolutely sure about is that your research should be done in your country. So keep that in mind. After you ask yourself, why exactly am I doing this research, or why did I choose this topic? So the researcher's purpose for selecting this topic, and you think about whether it's for an informative purpose or for a cognitive purpose. Do you want the reader or general public to be affected emotionally, or evoke an emotional response, or do you just want to inform them of something? Why? Why are you doing this topic? You can say, of course, again, you don't have to do it like this exactly or say it like this exactly, but you can say, the purpose for selecting this research is to have the public realize the seriousness of mental illnesses such as schizophrenia among senior citizens who are living in nursing homes today. And that's it for your first paragraph. For the second paragraph, you'll tell what will be covered in your paper. It's an introduction, so it's just like you're introducing your regular projects or your usual projects, and you tell what's in the paper. So you can say, this paper consists of a or an, and of course you'll have an expository piece and explain a bit what will be covered. So you introduce the sources of data after telling that you'll have your expository piece. And remember, the expository piece will be presented, so it will not be included as a part of your paper, as a part of the paper you hand in to your teacher, but you'll be required to say it orally and be graded. When I was doing this paper, it was recommended that I used one primary source of data and one secondary source of data. So you can say, and of course, you don't have to say it exactly like this, and it's encouraged that you don't say it exactly like this. But this paper consists of an expository piece which features data from interviews with experts in the field of medicine, as well as newspaper articles relevant to the topic. The interviews would be the primary source of data, and the newspaper articles would be your secondary source of data. After, you can go on to say it also includes a preface, which bears a brief summary of the reflective piece, which is a poem. And that is if your piece is a poem. Your reflective piece can be from any literary genre you choose. So it can be a song, it can be a story, it can be a speech, it can be a play or a skit, whatever you choose. After you state the form that your reflective piece would take, whether that be a poem, a song, or a skit or a story, you tell what it is about in 1 to 2 sentences and no more than 2 sentences. You will go on to speak about the fact that your paper will have an analysis, and this analysis would be covering the usage of the two language conventions which you have focused on when doing your reflective piece. And of course, these two language conventions can be either um, language registers, dialectal variation, attitudes towards language, or communicative behavior. So any of those two. And that's where you'd be done with your second paragraph. When you're doing your third paragraph, you will speak about the subjects that you do at the CAPE level and tell how the topic you have chosen relates to your academic interests, your work related or career interests, and your personal interests. So, again, you do not have to make it sound like this, but you can say, the candidate does the following CAPE subjects, or does the following subjects at the CAPE level: biology, chemistry, and physics. That's just an example. You don't have to do biology, chemistry, and physics if you don't do biology, chemistry, or physics, if you get what I'm saying. After, you can continue to say, as an aspiring psychiatrist, this process has helped him or her or even me to gain a deeper understanding of the medical field in Jamaica. This research has also helped him or her or me to grow as an individual and ultimately understand the research process on a whole, which will be useful in future pursuits. Now, where you hear me saying him or her or me, it's just to say, if you start out in the first person saying me or I or the candidate as yourself, continue your entire paper in the first person. If you start out in the third person saying the candidate chose this or the researcher did this because, continue your entire paper talking in the third person. That's it for your general introduction. And remember, it's supposed to be only 200 words. Now let's speak a bit about the exposition. It is important that you understand or know that your exposition is a speech and not an essay. Therefore, the tone that it should take is conversational, and you have only 10 minutes to deliver your speech. In a nutshell, you have an introduction, a body, an evaluation, and a conclusion. When doing your introduction, mention your theme and your topic so that the marker or the person listening knows what you'll be speaking about. After, you state your purpose for choosing the topic. Why did you choose the topic instead of any other topic? Why are you doing this one? Why is this one important to you? After, you give an overview of the findings that you'll be presenting. And an easy way to do this is before you conduct your research, come up with 3 focus questions. These 3 focus questions can be what is schizophrenia? Who does schizophrenia affect? How is schizophrenia treated? Right? After doing those 3 focus questions, you'll use them as a guide to know what you will be looking for when doing your research. So you'll use these as a guide to know what you'll be talking about during your presentation. Because even though you do have a topic, and I said it's specific to something, there's so many things that you'll find when doing that research that will not, or is just impossible for you to cover in just 10 minutes. So you'll have to choose what you'll speak about. Also, speak about the limitations that you encountered during your research. A limitation can be that you found that the topic that you chose was a bit taboo or found to be taboo, and not many people wanted to speak on the issue. The body, after you've done that, you'll be done with your introduction and you'll move on to your body. The body will cover the information you've gathered and what you've learned from doing the research. The information you've gathered would be the answer to your 3 focus questions. After answering your 3 focus questions, you will go into what you've learned or how has this research impacted you. How has this changed your outlook on life? After doing that, you're done with your body and you'll move into the evaluation of your sources. What I did was, since I did not use only one secondary source of data, I used two, but I did use one primary source. You evaluate your primary source first, speaking about the reliability, the validity, and the credibility of your source. After you speak about those 3 things as per your primary source, you do the same for your secondary source. I only spoke about one of my secondary sources of data and I used the most impressive and the strongest to save time and to gain marks. Also, after doing that, you'll conclude your piece, and it's just like a regular conclusion. Sum up what you've said before in a very concise way. That's it for your exposition. All you have to do after that is, as long as you think that the piece that you have come up with is top tier, you go on to memorizing it, because you are not allowed to bring your entire speech with you into the room in which you'll be presenting your speech, but you can bring cue cards. So that's all. You should know yourself and know how well or how long it will take you to grasp all that and memorize it. Now let's speak a bit about the reflection and preface aspect. Now your reflection, should be an original piece, and it should focus on two language conventions. Again, those could be, let's say, communicative behavior, attitudes towards language, dialectal variation, or language registers. And it should be 800 words. I did a poem, and at first it was a bit daunting, thinking, how would I write a poem that's 800 words? But once I got down to it, it wasn't hard at all. The hardest part was composing the piece so that they focused on the two language conventions strongly, so that I would have something to speak about when I was doing my analysis. After you've completed that, the preface, and of course, you don't have to do these in the order in which I'm saying them in the video. Do it in the order in which you're most comfortable, because I did my general introduction last, to be honest, because I found that I didn't have enough information, or the information I needed to put in it, without doing something like my preface before doing my general introduction. So you see where I'm going with this. Do it in the order in which you're most comfortable. The preface should not be more than 200 words. And right here, we meet again the theme and your topic. Say what it is. After, you are going to introduce the title of your reflective piece, and you're going to tell what genre you chose. After doing that, this is where you go crazy with your summary. You are going to give a detailed overview of what your reflective piece is about, still keeping in mind that you have only 200 words for this entire preface. After you do that, you're going to speak about why you chose that specific genre. Let's say you chose a poem. Why did you choose a poem? Did you think it would have been a more effective way to bring your point across? Is that why you chose a poem rather than a story or a play? Why? Then you state who the piece is intended for. Who do you expect to hear it? Is it government officials? Is it stakeholders, policymakers, or just the general public? Who do you want to hear your piece? Then go on to ask yourself, if I were to present this piece, how would I do it? Would you present it at a conference, or would you present it in the newspaper as a letter to the editor? And do not say, if I were to present this piece. Instead, run it along the lines of, this piece will be presented as, and then you finish your sentence. After doing that, you're done with your reflection and preface. And last but not least, your analysis. And that should not exceed 350 words. And here it would be as if you are writing an essay, but you'll speak about your usage, or the usage of the two language conventions that you had chosen of the four: language registers, dialectal variation, communicative behavior, or attitudes towards language. You'll speak about the effectiveness of the usage of those two language conventions. How well did it bring your point across? How well did it help to enhance your piece, or did it enhance it at all? That's all you're going to speak about. and in the 350 words, also adding a little about some of the literary devices that you had chosen to use in your piece. And that should be it for your analysis. So that's it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. And as usual, if you're hearing this, that means you have made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. So you know what to do. Drop a like, leave comments, and tell me what you want me to do next. Give me some content ideas so I can cater to you guys. As usual, go follow me on my business page and my main page at young_genius_C and _CAM_EO Cameo respectively. And thanks for watching, guys. Until next time.